All right, I'll give you guys a minute to hop on here. I'm trying to do this a little bit more like I did last week, where I'm using my phone instead of the computer. You guys said you could see the video a little bit better, and so that means I can walk around the store a little bit too in future episodes. My plan usually is to start a couple minutes early, but obviously that didn't happen today. I was trying to put my sweater back on. It's warm in here, but I wanted to show it off to you guys. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Mom. Hi, Nicole. I hope everybody's having a good day. If we finally got some rain. I don't know, Mom, you'll have to say if you guys got any over in the thumb, but it was nice to hear a spring thunderstorm. Not so nice for the muddy dog paws that come in, but I have one of those mitts from Norwex, the paw mitts, which is awesome. I can put my hand in it and clean my dog's paws off. It's great. Hi, Joan. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Marcina. We'll give everybody just a minute or two to connect here. Oh, we went up to the campground for the first time this weekend, and that was exciting. I can't wait. Hi, Lisa. Mom says, sweater looks great. We finally have rain too. Good. Hi, Holly. Hi, Bonnie. Campground was so dry compared to last year at this time, between the spring rains and then everything that happened after with the flood. Things were very different up there. I'm sure they're still very different for a lot of people. Jackie, I have the basket pattern for you. Oh, good. Thank you. I tried to look it up on Ravelry, but it looks like it's only one that's available for when you purchase the kit from Mountain Meadow. So thank you. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Diane. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to Monday Motivation. Today is Monday, May 3rd. My name is Kristen. I'm the owner of the Little Yarn Shoppe in downtown Saginaw, Michigan, inside the SVRC Marketplace. Bonnie, love your sweater. Thank you. We're going to be talking about it in a minute. In case you didn't see, or if you don't follow SVRC, they're in the process of going through this whole rebranding with a new logo, new marketing, which I think is going to be really fun. Our effort is to really inform people that the indoor marketplace is a whole separate thing from the farmer's market that's outside. Hi, Melissa. Okay, so that's who I am. The shop is open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday motivations are every Monday at 7, so please join us. What else do I want to say before we get too far? If you're watching this on a replay, please let me know. Put in the comments hashtag replay or something like that, so I know whether you're watching it live or not, because I kind of like to know that. If you're here and haven't put a little comment in to say hello, please do. I like saying hi to everybody. Hi, Mary Kay. So, what am I wearing? It's also what I finished this week. My little cardigan. Now that I'm trying this with the debacle I had last week with my phone, I'm trying this on my phone this week, which means I can stand up and move around a little bit. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Jenny. Then I'm not trying to push the chair out of the way every time I want to stand up and do something. So, this is the Little White Cardigan by Kate Oates. Clearly it's not white. It is, I wanted to talk about it a little bit because it's designed for really not much ease. So if you don't know, when a sweater pattern, really any clothing item talks about ease, negative ease means you're knitting an item or crocheting an item smaller than the body part you're measuring. So socks have a negative ease in order to be nice and snug and stay in place. A lot of sweaters have anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of positive ease to, like, the ranunculus has 12 to 15 inches of positive ease, because it's meant to be really oversized and flowy. So this pattern specifically says to pick a size that is 0 to 4 inches around your actual bust size. So it's meant to be fitted. Diane, sweater's looking great. And how do I get projects done so fast? I actually had to knit 3 sleeves for this, and that's a whole nother thing. But so you can see it is definitely, it's fitted. It's got this really cool shoulder construction. It's seamless from the top down, but it looks like it's got it almost looks like a set-in sleeve with the little raglan sleeves it's got going. It calls for holding a sport weight with a mohair. I went against the grain and held a sport alpaca wool blend with an alpaca silk blend, so it's not quite so fuzzy. But so I wanted to talk a couple things about this. If you are considering making this, keep in mind that if you want more room to move in your sweater, make sure you make a bigger size. There are so many sizes available on this. 14 different sizes. Hi Beth, thank you. I love this sweater too. It's gonna come off in a second because it's warm in here. But 14 different sizes. So I did the 37.75 inch. It's supposed to have buttons. I didn't put buttons on it. It just came off the blocking boards at about 5 o'clock today. But I wanted to show you this. I know Melissa posted it last week, a picture, but look at all of the different versions of this sweater. How great it looks on different people. I love that the designer did this. I probably will say this every week. I love seeing a sweater on multiple bodies to really get a visual of what it's going to look like. So yeah, keep that in mind. She does say it's designed to fit snug and close to the body. So let's talk about gauge and how things can change with your needles and not just your needle size. I mentioned a couple minutes ago that I ended up knitting 3 sleeves for this. If you didn't see my post on Wednesday, or maybe it was on Friday. Hi, Christina. So it's top down. You knit the body of the sweater from top to bottom. Then you pick up and knit the sleeves. You have it on live stitches, put it back on the needles, knit the sleeves down. I knit 1 sleeve and I thought, okay, I know it's supposed to be fitted, but it was really fitted. Like I could barely get my arm in there. And I know a lot of times when you swatch or knit in the round, you tend to have a tighter gauge than when you're knitting back and forth. So I kind of thought that's what happened, that, well, I was going in the round on the sleeves, so maybe I just knitted a little bit tighter. So got my needles for my second sleeve and realized when I was almost done with my second sleeve that they very clearly were different sizes. Turns out I knit 1 sleeve on a size 4 and 1 sleeve on a size 5. So it wasn't in my head. There were different sizes. It makes a huge difference. There is still a little bit of difference from one sleeve to the other. You can't really see it though, but it's interesting how when you're holding 2 solid yarns together, how you get that marled look. I think it looks really, really neat. I did check my gauge on it today, and I checked both the sleeves and the body because it feels to me like the sleeves are a much looser knit. However, my gauge on the body is 18 stitches over 4 inches, which is what the pattern calls for. My gauge on my sleeves measures at 20 stitches over 4 inches, which means it should be tighter, not looser. So I'm a little bit baffled on that. Maybe it's just the number of stitches that are on there that makes it feel different. I don't know. But it's beautiful. I have one, Jackie, what do you call it? When you have a mistake and you leave it in. I can't remember what you had some term you said the other day. Something about being humble or something like that. I don't know. So, we all make mistakes in things. With this, it's got this really pretty eyelet design. You see that? Let me put something dark behind it. That'll be easier. Yeah, Bonnie, a design feature. Yeah, Jackie had a name for it though, like humility something. Humility stitch. Yes, thank you. So it's got this just really pretty basic lace. Looks like a little diamond. When I got ready to separate for my sleeves, I couldn't figure out why one side had one more stitch than the other side. Part of that is because, again, I don't count my stitches very often. But if you look at this one, that's got 4. And then this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I added an extra yarn over in there because I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't do anything about it. I didn't decrease a stitch. Nobody's going to notice that one side is 1 stitch larger than the other. If it bothers me that much, I will go back and kind of duplicate stitch and cover that up. But for all the things that bug me, that doesn't. So I was really, really happy with how that turned out. For the actual yarns that it calls for with a sport weight and a mohair, it's going to be a beautiful sweater. Anybody that's interested in making one of these sweaters, either message me or call the shop and we can talk colors, we can talk fabrics, yardage, all of that stuff. I know this is going to be a really popular one. Just a great throw on over anything. But I'm not going to put it back on now because I am warm. And I did get a little bit of sun this weekend, so that's helping me stay nice and warm. So that's what I finished, and that's what I was wearing. What am I working on? Many of you know that every summer, every July, Marie Green, who goes by Olive Knits for her designs, she hosts what she calls her 4-day knit along for a sweater, a 4-day sweater knit along. This is year 5, and she challenges people to knit a sweater in less time than you think you could. In order to participate in her actual knit along and be qualified for prizes, you have anywhere from 4 to 10 days, depending on the size sweater that you're doing. Last year was, whoop, I knocked something down. The soundtrack, this one. We had a little bit more time in last year's because it was her 4th anniversary of the 4-day knit along, so she gave everybody a little bit more time. But generally speaking, my philosophy about Melissa, I like how she explains figuring out how long it will take you. Say more about that. Yeah, I haven't read much about it lately, so I just tend to grab stuff and knit. She has started to give yarn stores a little bit of information about the pattern. Not anything that I can really talk to you guys about, but I can show you that I've been swatching. And it's gonna look crazy, and I will explain that too. So here's my little swatch. My little pearl bumps will tell you that I used, where are they? Size 4s, 5s, and 6s. So when I'm knitting the swatch, I'll put little pearl bumps in there just so I remember what size needles I used on each section. The pattern calls for 6s. I'm a really loose knitter. I've not worked with this yarn before, so I wanted to really play around with it. It looks crazy, like this, because this sweater is knit in the round. That much I know. That's about all I can tell you guys. It's knit in the round. And so I wanted to swatch in the round, like I said, with the sleeves and the body of the sweater. It makes a difference. So one way to do that is by carrying your yarn across. So I essentially knit a tube, a half a tube, and just made sure I carried my yarn across, giving myself enough slack so when I laid it out flat, it wasn't going to be pulled in. realized a couple rows in, let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Along the edges, this gets tricky sometimes because that first stitch and your last stitch, there's really no way to anchor them in place without changing how your gauge looks. Suzanne Bryan, again, I will talk about her in her videos on YouTube. She did a whole series on gauge swatches and how putting seed stitch or garter stitch or anything on your edges changes your gauge. I really wouldn't have believed it, but now I do. I'm a believer. So this is just straight stockinette, all knitting. After I got a couple rows done, I realized if I could knit through the back loop on that first and last stitch, it twists it just enough to keep it in place a little bit more. So I'm not fighting with feeling like I have to constantly snug those edge stitches up all the time. All right, Melissa, let me see. I gotta see if it says more here. She has you measure out 5 yards and knit that and time how long it takes. So if you can knit 5 yards in 10 minutes and your project is 500 yards, take 100 times 10, 16 hours. Whoops. I don't know what I did. Now the 5 years may have been incorrect, but that's the concept. Okay, so yeah, taking a small-ish amount of yarn and knitting with it and gauging how long it takes you to knit with that. Obviously, if it has to be the same yarn that you're using for your project, but that gives you a rough idea of how many hours it's actually going to take you. One of the things I like about her past knit-alongs, her 4-day knit-alongs, is I know the patterns aren't going to be overly complex. If they are meant to be knit in a way that it will challenge you but not be impossible, you know, it's not going to have a lot of detail, a lot of stranded color work going on, anything that's really going to slow you down. So I like that concept, and I tend to pull some of her past designs for people. The only one I haven't knit was, well, I didn't knit the first 2. I started kind of jumping on board with her knit-alongs on year 2 with the Beekeeper cardigan, but really didn't love it and didn't think customers were gonna love it very much. So decided to move on and spend my time differently. Lisa said, and then multiply by 10 to get how long it would take me. Everybody's different. It's not a race. I mean, in that case of the 4-day knit along, there is a time frame on it, but it's supposed to be fun. It's all supposed to be fun. So, I washed my swatch, and I didn't block it so much as just lay it out, and I was concerned before I washed it. I thought I was close to gauge on my 5s, which is this middle section here, but it looked very transparent, and I thought I might have to get into this. Do I change my gauge because I want a different fabric? Do I pick a different yarn? How do I manage that? But this yarn bloomed beautifully. I actually get to use the needles it calls for. It calls for 6s. I get to use 6s. It's a really stretchy, gorgeous, gorgeous superwash merino. And process-oriented knitters unite, Tammy says. Yeah, we were just talking about that. I am not a process knitter. I am a product knitter. I just want to see the thing done and then move on to the next thing. Melissa says it's all about the finished project. Yes, finished product. Absolutely. So that's one of the things I'm working on. The other small items I decided I wanted to get back to was having similar samples in crochet and knit, so my crocheters don't feel left out, so my knitters see that not all crochet is the granny squares that they think of. Christina, I want to start all the things. Yes, I hear you. Me too. So there are two projects that I decided I was going to focus on. In terms of hats, I knit this leaf, nope, I crocheted the leafy, it's called the Leafy Knit Look Beanie. It uses a skein of worsted weight yarn. It looks really, really cool. It looks like it's knit, but it's crochet. And the method is actually kind of similar with knitting and crochet in that it's knit and crocheted sideways. So this one's crocheted sideways. Lots of slip stitches or front loop or back loop stitches in order to get that little knit look. But it's not the easiest to find interesting patterns that could go knit or crochet. On a larger scale, there's a designer that does a lot of ponchos. It was really popular a couple years ago, Velvet Acorn Designs. She's really good about coming out with sweaters and ponchos and having a knit and a crochet version. So this is my crochet hat, knit look beanie. On the knit side, one of my next projects is going to be one of the hats from a designer called Woolly Wormhead. Their most popular, I think it's a her, most popular hat is the Worm, W-U-R-M hat. It's kind of it looks like a little slouchy thing. But she has a whole series of, I believe, 5 patterns that are done using short rows in a similar way. So you get that really cool leafy look. This is done on worsted. I think the patterns in that series are all done in DK weight. At least the couple that I looked at. So that's next on my, one of the things next on my to-do list is to work on that. With the knit look, she uses 2 different yarns so you can really see where the color change happens. So I might play around a little bit with that and decide what I want to do. So that's hat-wise. On the other project is fingerless mitts. So I found this fingerless mitt pattern called Totally Wild Mitts is the knit pattern. And it's, again, this one's knit side to side too. And then you end up grafting it, but I did one where I actually followed and did the provisional cast on and then Kitchener bind off. I think on the other one, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna do a regular long tail cast on and bind off and seam it up so people can see the difference. So this is my right one. Look at how cool that looks. Totally Wild Mitts. It calls for fingering weight yarn. This is an unnamed skein of sock yarn that I had. I believe it's an older Malabrigo color. It looks a lot like I was looking through what I had. It looks a lot like their Polar Morn in terms of just being a tonal or a semi-solid. But I thought it was really cool. You don't have to worry about using tiny little double points or magic loop to do any part of this thing. The whole thing is done flat and then a little Kitchener seam up the side of it, and that's it. I thought it was really a neat concept. So I just started my second one, and I did do a provisional cast on this, but I may rip it out and redo it with just a normal cast on and see. Although I don't mind doing Kitchener stitch. I find it enjoyable. Not everybody feels that way. Joan says, did you ever finish the crochet mosaic garment? No, I did not. So I was a crocheter before I was a knitter, and for a long time I swore I didn't need to learn how to knit because everything I wanted to do I could crochet. I could make stuff up, it would be fine. It was so much faster for me. Now I find it's not faster because I have to look. I know that there are crocheters out there that can just go along without having to look at what they're doing. I am not one of those. When I'm knitting, there are plenty of projects that I can go along and kind of pay attention, but not really have to pay attention. With crochet, it's a little bit different. So that got set to the side. It is, once I get these little projects done, I want to get back to that. It is on my to-do list. It stares at me every day when I pick up my bag to come into the shop. Cora, hello from Virginia. Hi, Cora. I wonder what the weather's like out there, if you're getting a beautiful spring with all the blossoms on everything. So on the crochet side for fingerless mitts, I wanted to find one that was also done lengthwise, and I found this really cool. They're called spikelet mitts. So look how cool those look. Again, they kind of have a knit look to them, even though they're crocheted. And the pattern is 10 pages long, but that's because she has lots of photo tutorials on techniques. So the whole thing has a lot of pictures like that, which I think is very handy. I've not done that little, the spikelets, as she calls them. I really wanted to work on this weekend, but of all the crochet hooks I have, I did not have the size that I needed. I think I need a C, and I had a B, D, F, G, everything else except a C. So those are going to be my next project. And I wanted to do things in a similar yarn so you can see the difference too. So that's what will be working on. Cora said, it's a beautiful spring, drizzly day today. Yeah, we had that today too, which we needed it. Even letting my dog out this afternoon, there are sections of my yard that still look dry and cracked, and it's been raining on and off for the last 24 hours almost, but that's okay. A little bit of rain is better than none, and a little bit of rain is better than what we had last spring, that's for sure. So we talked about different techniques and gauge. Let's see what time it is. 7:30. I have a couple of boxes here. Maybe you guys want to see something fun. And well, some of it's new, some of it's not new. I did get the box from Dream in Color with my second order of LYS Day kits. Melissa said, here's the link to Toph, the hat that has a knit, that is knit and has a similar appearance. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Melissa, for posting that. Because I didn't even print out a picture to show. So the LYS Day kits. Local Yarn Store Day was April 17th. And Dream in Color partnered up with, I can't remember her name, Sarah Abram, to put together a kit for a shawl. So this is what the shawl looks like. The pink in this picture is a little bit more muted than the pinks in the kits, but I will show you the kits too. So look at, see if I can do this without it being too crazy noisy. And I don't remember if I mentioned it last week, but the kit, when you buy a kit, it has a little slip of paper in there that has the code to download the pattern for free on Ravelry, or to add it to your library for free. And initially I thought it expired the day of LYS Day, which was April 17th, but it doesn't. It's good through June 17th. So I can panic a little less about that. So in person, out of the bag, these are the colors. Starts with this navy on the small end, and then these are your two lacy colors. They are so, so beautiful. Bonnie said, I started my fourth color. Oh, so Bonnie has been through these colors, and she's on to her fourth color, Milky Spite. I love that one. The one that is unique to LYS Day is this pinky one here. So that's one that I cannot get again, cannot get on its own. It was only for these kits. And it also comes with stitch markers, a little set of stitch markers. Look how cute they are. So this is, you're good enough, you're smart enough, and people love your knitting. So the kits are $85. I have just under 10 left, I think. I ordered as many as I could this time around, feasibly, and have a few left. People have asked if I have a sample of the shawl in the shop. I don't, because it is so limited. That would mean I have one less to sell, and it also means that once it's gone, I have a sample then with yarns that I don't have. So that makes it a little tough. Melissa, I bought the kit just for the stitch markers. Is that sad? No, it's awesome. I appreciate that. Hi, Denise. So let me know if you are interested in those, and we'll make sure that you get one for those. Diane Burns, yes, you did get one. For those of you who pre-ordered, like Diane, I've got those set aside, so don't worry about that. Julie, I can bring my completed one in or take a picture and post. Oh, I would love that. I would love to be able to kind of, even just to take a picture up on my yarn wall would look really neat. I look like I'm getting more sunburn. I think it's just because I'm warm in here. So that's one of the boxes that I have here, but I have 2 more boxes. So this box is from Earth. Those of you that recognize the name might have an idea of what is in here. But I got more of the yarn for the butterfly shawl. I order more than I think I need every time, and I still sell out very quickly. So look at that, beautiful, beautiful. Let's see, if I turn myself a little bit, you can see the butterfly shawl back there. So it takes 2 skeins of the rainbow, the Earth self-striping unique fingering. So it's a self-striping yarn. Takes 2 skeins of this and 1 skein of a solid. So the beautiful one that everybody looks at and wants the kit for are 2 of these and 1 skein of Heritage sock yarn. It's just phenomenal. What's crazy, and if I could get them down, I would. Maybe I'll do that next week. But I have 2 samples here in the shop. One uses black as the contrast color, one uses a cream as a contrast color. Otherwise, they both use this, and it is amazing how different they look. So I have some kits available for that. Again, I don't have a lot of this stuff up on the website, but you can always leave a comment here, message me through Facebook or Instagram, call the shop, text the shop phone. It's an iPhone, so I can text, I can send pictures back and forth. I've done that with a few of you, and it works really well. Shop number is 989-274-8571. So I got more of that, and I got more of the unique DK in the color 6006, which is what I did my chevron scarf in. So let me grab that. This pretty thing takes 2 skeins of the unique DK in that color, 6006. Again, I feel like I'm ordering this all the time because I have a sample of it, and people love what they see, and it's really neat to see things knit up. It looks like I'm holding I'm knitting with different yarns, 2 different yarns, but it's not. It's just the one yarn that does all of the work for you. So you're not carrying anything, you're just knitting up 2 skeins. Very simple project, but really, really neat look. Is the butterfly similar to the papillon? It's the same thing, Diane. I just find it's easier to call it the butterfly, but it's called papillon / butterfly shawl. But that is the same pattern, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous project. My mom just finished hers. I posted it a week ago, I think, for Finished Object Friday. And Mom says Heritage works as a, what did you say? Something about a good supporting yarn. And it is. Heritage, all the solids that are across the top. Ooh, a whole bunch of them. And I'm always getting more. They are great as companions to some of the hand-dyed yarns. Absolutely. So that's the box from Earth, which is a little bit exciting, but it's not new stuff. The other box I have is from Dream in Color, and I think this is their May color. So this is the last of their spring pop-up club colors. So it's a 4-month club, and this was February. One of the things I like that they did is any of their yarns that have a gold label are sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Any that have a gold label are indicating that they are a limited run of that color, so I can't reorder them. It's kind of a membership only, one and done sort of thing. So that was February. That one's March. This one's April. Oh, you guys, that one is so, so pretty. It's got this little bit of coral in it. Love it. So May is the last month. They do 4 months. And then typically they pick it back up again in the fall. I just started this last time really doing more of it, pre-orders for the club, and those are typically at a discount. So as soon as I find out how many months there are going to be and the pricing, I will put a link up on the website and put those for pre-order. You can pre-order 1 month, you can pre-order all 4 months, or anywhere in between. Oh, you guys, it's beautiful. Anytime I get any that are like a tealy, turquoisey color, they don't last long. They disappear very quickly. The inspiration for these was like those images of deep sea underwater where you get just all the really pretty tones of ocean tones, essentially. But this, look at that. And as always, what's great, when I get a lot, I order 20. And again, once they're gone, they're gone. But they're very different from skein to skein. Some are dark, some are light. So for those who pick theirs up early, they have the benefit of kind of looking through if they want more than one, being able to pull some that are very similar or very different. I have had people do use a darker skein and a lighter skein for the same project and use it as like 2 different colors. So these are $34.99. Like I said, if you, Christina, need one, of course. I love them. They are so, so beautiful. If you did pre-order one, I will have yours set aside. I haven't set it aside yet because I'm just opening the box. But like I said, you can see the variation in them, but that blue-green is just gorgeous. Looks good with, which one is that? March. looks good with April and February. Oh, so gorgeous. Bonnie, I need one to complete my collection. Yes, everybody does. So if you want one of these, you can comment on here and we'll make sure that we get an invoice out to you, or make sure that we set one aside until we touch base with you. But I ordered 20. Like I said, I have to set a bunch aside for those who pre-ordered, but look at how gorgeous they are. So, most of what I get from Dream in Color, and these pop-up clubs specifically, are their smushy cashmere. So 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon, 4 ounces, which is about 110 grams, 115 grams. Bonnie, send me an invoice and ship. I can do that, absolutely. 400 yards per skein. One of these is enough to do a scarf, a small shawl. If you want ideas, go back a couple weeks ago when I had my Monday motivation that I did, that was all of the one skein projects. I think I went through, I don't know, Mom counted how many patterns I talked about, but there were a lot of one skein ideas. Obviously socks or a hat. Fingerless mitts, those fingerless mitts that I'm doing, those would be really cool in this. And you would have, I'm not sure about the crochet version, but with the knit version you would have lots left over. If you come into the shop, I have changed things now where I have a couple waterfall hooks. Let me see if you can see this way. So there's one there, and there's one down there. These waterfall hooks all have one skein projects on them, using one skein of fingering weight yarn. So lots of really good ideas in here. Mom says, it's beautiful, look on Wednesday. Yes, I probably will have a couple left still on Wednesday, I imagine. So, beautiful. And that is it for the boxes I have here, but I know I have at least 2 more on their way to me. So next Monday is going to be more lovely, lovely things to look at and to talk about. And I think that is it. Melissa said, I just found a gift certificate I thought I spent from Christmas. Sweet. Tammy, I need one with lots of green. All right, I can do that. I will make sure I set a really greeny one aside for you. Doing that right now so I don't forget, because I'm really good at saying, okay, but setting one aside for you right now. All right, that is it for this Monday. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I hope it's productive. I hope I inspired you to finish something you're working on, start something new, or just keep knitting or crocheting. As always, if you have ideas for questions you want me to answer, topics you want me to talk about, patterns that you think I would love or that customers would love, please comment in here, message me, let me know. And yeah, I love hearing back from you guys. So yeah, let me know. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great week, and I will talk to you all next week. Bye. Oh, Jenny, sorry, before I go, Jenny asked about the blanket knit along. I didn't talk about that at all. I am going to start this Thursday with hosting the Zoom, so I will make sure that I put that out there. I don't have any update on the yarn from Cascade. So what we have ended up doing for a few people, so Sherry, Jenny, there's somebody else back there too, Pat, I think. I don't have, I think Sherry, you were one of them. I can't remember now. We can choose to pick something else that I have here in the shop, or find a suitable alternative somehow and make sure that we get going on that. I've decided that Deb is going to start on Saturdays. We're not going to schedule appointments, but she will be here, and if you want to sit with her to cast on, to have her explain techniques, you're welcome to stop in on a Saturday and sit with her. Karen's almost always here on Saturdays, so it's no biggie for Deb to sneak in the back with somebody for a few minutes and work on something. Wednesday through Friday, I'm here. Karen's here usually too, and we can help you and answer questions. This is not a pattern that either one of us has knit, but I am going to start one soon, so I will be knitting right along with you. So Thursdays at 7, if you're participating in the knit along, I'll be posting a link on our craft along Facebook group. Melissa just posted the link for that, and that's for the curly Q coverlet. That blanket looks like a starfish, and I think that's it. Thank you for asking about that, because otherwise I would have completely forgotten. All right, that's it for real. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll talk to you either later this week if you stop in or call, or I will talk to you all next Monday. Bye.